Vivo. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada. Go Premanande, Hri Bol, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.
Jai Om Vishupad Paramahamsa Parivrajikacharya Astotra Sachi Srimad His Divine Grace Srila Abhay Charanaravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Jai Nityalila Pavista Om Vishupad Paramahamsa Parivrajikacharya Astotra Sachi Srimad His Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Goswami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Binda ki Jai. Jai Shri Rup Shri Sanatan Bhata Raghunath Shri Jiva Gopala Bhata Das Raghunath Sad Goswamis Prabhu ki Jai. Nama Acharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki Jai. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda ki Jai. Sisi Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan ki Jai. Si Brajabhumi Vrindavan Dham ki Jai. Mathura Dham ki Jai. Sinabadvip Mayapur Dham ki Jai. Ganga Mai ki Jai. Yamuna Mai ki Jai. Tulsi Devi ki Jai. Bhakti Devi ki Jai. Si Harinam Sankirtan ki Jai. Sankirtan Yagya ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada's Transcendental Books Distribution ki Jai. Shri Govardhan Puja Maha Mahotsav ki Jai. Bolo Giriraj Maharaj ki. Hare Krishna. That's close to Dinabandhu Prabhu. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. So now, would like to welcome everyone for this most auspicious day of Govardhan Puja, the day we commemorate the lifting of Govardhan Hill by Lord Krishna, being a 7-year-old boy, to protect from Indra's wrath, the Sambantaka cloud, and all the rains and everything. And today especially, we are having the first major class or pravachan here in Krishna Balaram Hall. The class will be given by His Holiness Chandramauli Swami Maharaj Ki. I didn't hear jai from everyone. Are you hungry now? One more jai. Oh. 1, 2, 3. Jai. Okay, so one more announcement here. This evening, there'll be a Govardhan Leela drama performance, 6 p.m. at the Balaram Hall. This is a musical presentation directed and produced by one of Srila Prabhupada's disciples, Paribidha Prabhu. That'll be from 6 to 7 p.m. at the Balaram Hall. Today, Tuesday, 14th of November. So many thanks to you all. And I'd like to introduce to you His Grace Vishnunam Prabhu. He's our CFO, Chief Finance Officer. And also he is in charge of the farm, Vedic farm in Ojai. We have a 40-acre piece of land there, and he will give you some information regarding that so that you'll be informed.
Thank you, Maharaj. So, it is a very auspicious day, Sri Govardhan Puja, and we are very fortunate that we are on the same land where Krishna Balaram, Hare Krishna, where Krishna Balaram were grazing their cows, Raman Reti area. So, I would like to share a very good news to all of you that this year we shifted our bulls to our Ajay land, which was procured 11 years back by the temple management. And as Krishna wanted to keep the cows happy, the best formula is to keep them on the land grazing. So we are very fortunate that Krishna Balaram allowed this year to move their dear cows and bulls to the land, and now they are very happy there. So whenever you find time, please visit there. So this is like 4 or 5 acre land, and now there we have 40 acre land plus 110 acre of forest to graze. So it's a very happy moment for the cows to be on the grazing land, and I am grateful to the temple management to arrange this facility for the cows. And Srila Prabhupada explains in Bhagavatam that if we keep the cows and bulls happy, then the total humanity will be happy. So we are trying to do that, and we require prayers and blessings from all the assembled Vaishnavas so that we can continue this service to Mother Cow and make our Krishna and Balaram more and more happy. Thank you. Now I would request His Grace Chandramauli Maharaj to give his talk. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Girivardhan Hari Hari Jasodanandana Braja Janandhanaya Jasodanandana Braja Janandhanaya Jamuna Tira Chariyam Jamuna Tira Chariyam Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivardhari Jasodanandana Braja Janandhanaya Jasodanandana Braja Janandhanaya Jamuna Tira Chariyam Jamuna Tira Chariyam Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Giri Govardhan Giri Govardhan Giri Govardhan Jai Giri Govardhan Prabhupada, 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 Jai Prabhupada. Govardhandari ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So I chose one verse from the Srimad Bhagavatam. This is Krishna Lives Govardhan Hill, chapter 25 of Canto 10. This is verse number 13. Krishna Krishna Mahabhaga Tvam Natar Gokulam Prabho Tratum Arhasi Devana Kupitad Bhaktavatsala Krishna Krishna Mahabhaga Tvam Natam Gokulam Prabho Traptum Arhasi Devana Kupitad Bhaktavatsala Krishna Krishna Mahabhaga Tvam Natam Gokulam Prabho Tattum Arhasi Devana Kupitad Bhaktavatsala.
त्रातुम अर्हसि देवानां कुपिताद् भक्तवत्सल
Krishna Krishna Mahabhaga Tvanna Tango Kulam Prabhu Tratung Arhasi Divana Kupitad Bhaktavatsala
तन्नाथं गोकुलं प्रभोः त्रातुम् अर्हसि देवान्नः कुपिताद् भक्तवत्सल कृष्ण कृष्ण महाभागा तन्नाथं गोकुलं प्रभो त्रातुम् अर्हसि देवानां कुपिताद् भक्तवत्सल.
Ladies? Any ladies? Krishna. Krishna Krishna. O Krishna Krishna. Mahabhaga. O all fortunate one. Tvam Natam, whose master is yourself. Gokulam, the community of cows. Prabho, O Lord. Tatum Arhasi, kindly protect Devat from the demigod Indra. Na, us. Kupitat, who is angry. Bhaktavatsala, O you who are very affectionate to your devotees. Translation. The cowherd men and women addressed the Lord. Krishna, Krishna, O most fortunate one, please deliver the cows from the wrath of Indra, O Lord. You are so affectionate to your devotees. Please save us also. Very short purport. At that time of Lord Krishna's birth, Garga Muni had predicted, Anena sarva durgani yuyam anjas tadisyata. By his grace, you will easily cross beyond all difficulties. The residents of Vrindavan were confident that in such a great emergency, Lord Narayan would empower Krishna to protect them. They accepted Krishna as everything, and Krishna reciprocated their love. Om Gyan Timidandasya Gyanajana Salakaya Chaksu Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimakti Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nirvisesa Sunyavadi Pastyatya De Satarine Vanchakalpa Tarubhischa Kripa Sindhupa Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namaho Namaha. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasari Gaur Bhaktavrindam Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. It's a beautiful verse that glorifies, there's many, but this is one that glorifies Govardhan. Namaste Giriraj Jaya Sri Govardhan Namine Ashesha Klesha Nasaya Paramananda Daine. Translation: I offer my respectful obeisances unto the King of all hills, Govardhan Hill. He is the source of enjoyment for the senses, lands, and cows. He is the servant of Krishna and Krishna himself. He put an end to the unlimited sufferings and bestows the supreme bliss. And that's from Preyo Bhakti Rasa Marva. Now this is a most intimate and very, very sweet Leela of the Lord. And it just shows the Lord's love and for the devotees and the devotees' complete dependence on the Lord. This is the essence of this particular pastime. How Krishna takes care of his devotees in all situations, and how the devotees know nothing else but Krishna. It's a beautiful pastime. It's quite lengthy, and there's many aspects to it. But I'll just mention how Govardhan appeared in the world before Krishna began his descent in this particular manifestation. He was speaking to Srimati Radharani and said to her, soon I will go to the material world. Please prepare and come with me. She responded by saying, I'm not going unless Govardhan and Jamuna goes. And Krishna responded, they already left. Actually, Govardhan, he is a manifestation from the heart of the Lord for his love for Srimati Radharani. And he appears in this world to assist the Lord in his pastimes. It's explained that he appeared in a place called Somali, which is on the western coast of the continent of India. And he was the son of a great personality named Dronachala. And this was in the Satya Yuga, prior to Krishna's appearance. And he was a pet son of this great personality, Dronachala. And Dronachala had so much affection and love for him. One day, one great sage named Pulastya Muni was traveling, and he came to that same area. And seeing Govardhan, he immediately became attracted. His heart opened up, but he was also thinking of his own personal interests. And he said to Dronachala, please give me your son. I require some assistance in traveling. He is a suitable assistant for me. Dronachala was shocked. At the same time, he was fearful because he didn't want to part with Govardhan. But hearing the request of this great personality, he was afraid if I don't, I will get cursed, and maybe quite badly. So he turned to Govardhan in a very sad way. But Govardhan responded by saying, I will come, I will go with you, but I have a condition. And then Pulastya responded, what is that condition? You carry me, and wherever you put me down, that's where I stay. So Pulastya was heading for Benares. That was his goal. And so, by the power of his tejas, his Shakti, he was able to lift Govardhan. At that time, Govardhan was 64 miles around, 16 miles high, and 40 miles sideways, this way. And so he was huge. But Pulastya was a great personality, had developed pure mystic power. He picked up Govardhan, and he was carrying him. But Govardhan, when he came to the area of Vrindavan, he didn't want to go any farther. So by his own power, he created an urge in Pulastya to take care of nature, to respond to nature. And immediately, Pulastya had to put the mountain down in order to do that. And after responding and coming back, he tried to pick up Govardhan, but Govardhan wasn't going to move. And then he became upset. And he tried everything he could, but Govardhan was not going to respond to his desire. And so he said, "You're not coming? I'm staying here." Because he knew, Govardhan knew Krishna would come soon and perform his pastimes. And so he became angry and he cursed Govardhan. He said, "I curse you that you will sink into the earth one mustard seed every day." Yeah. So we can see, compared to the original appearance of Govardhan, he is a lot smaller. But there's an internal and very sweet mood about this curse that actually is beneficial, because when Krishna will leave the planet after performing his Leela for 125 years, and Govardhan and Jamuna will still be here. So it is explained that this curse for Govardhan was his benediction, so he could eventually leave the world and return back to the spiritual world, along with Jamuna. The story is, we heard it from Srila Prabhupada, he very nicely narrates this particular pastime, that the cowherd men, headed by Nanda Maharaj, were performing their annual Indra Jug puja, and they were gathering all of their paraphernalia and all of the persons involved, and Nanda Maharaj was conducting everything. And Krishna became a little curious. Krishna was about 7.5 years old at that time. Balaram was about 8. And Krishna approaches his father. He said, "My dear father, I can see you are about ready to perform a great ceremony. What is this ceremony? Is this some special ritual? Is it some popular occasion that is done by the common people? What is this?" So he's curious. And then Nanda's not so much interested in explaining what he's about to do. And he said, "This is, we are actually," but then Krishna, he becomes silent. Then Krishna says, "But actually we are family members and there should be no secrecy amongst us. So please reveal, what are you about to do? So we will all understand." And Nanda said, "Well, actually we are Vaishyas and we take care of cows, agriculture, that is our occupation. And we require water, sufficient amount. And we know we get the rain from Indra, the king of heaven. So in order to satisfy Indra, so he will be merciful to us, provide us whatever rain we need, we are performing this puja for the glorification of Indra." And Krishna is not so much happy to hear about this. And Krishna says, "Well, that is very nice, but rains come accordingly. And there's rains everywhere. There's rains on the ocean. There's rains on the water. Why do we have to worship this personality?" And Nanda Maharaj is trying to explain, "Well, we are dependent." And Krishna says, "Actually, it is understood that if we have to do our duty. It is the duty of the human being to accept a particular duty and carry out that duty as their life's occupation. So as cowherd persons, we worship the land, we worship the cows. So why do we have to worship this personality?" Actually, and Krishna starts speaking this karma mimamsa philosophy by saying that actually, even if there is such a person who is a powerful person, even if there is such a God, so Prabhupada mentions, God is saying, even if there is a God, no need to worship. And so Nanda Maharaj is, finally, Krishna speaks very convincingly and says, we should worship, we should turn our attention towards Govardhan. He provides nice fruits, flowers, vegetables, caves. Govardhan gives us so much. The cows are our life. They provide everything we need for our livelihood, and the land. And then Nanda, after hearing Krishna's argument, Krishna's very convincing in his argument. If you listen to Srila Prabhupada's narration, Krishna is speaking in so many ways, defeating all of the responses of Nanda. And finally Nanda decides, okay. So he decides to call up the Indriya, calls them, and they turn their attention on Govardhan. And then all of the ladies come, and there's a big festival that's brought held, and Krishna says, cook so many preparations. And then he describes all of the different preparations. I can't remember them all. It's like 25 of them are listed. Rice and dal and sabji and halava and pakora and rubbery and sandesh and burfi. This is just to get you ready for breakfast. So a long list, and then everyone gets in gear and they bring all of their boga, all of their flour, their milk products, and there's a big feast cooked. And now Krishna says, offer this feast to Govardhan, put the ladies in the front along with the cows, and we should circumambulate Govardhan Hill. Jiva Goswami writes a beautiful prayer that glorifies Krishna as the killer of many, many demons. As the devotees are circumambulating the hill, they're chanting this beautiful prayer glorifying Krishna in his pastimes as killing many, many demons. And it's a very joyful festival. So everyone is now happy. The cows are there, the cows are decorated, and everyone is, and Krishna, and all of the food is being offered to Giriraj, and piles of various types of prasadam, milk sweets, and everything. It's just overwhelming. They exhaust all of their stock of supplies of all of their boga. And now Krishna manifests himself as Govardhan. He appears in the form of himself, which is the personification of Govardhan Hill. Along with Govardhan is there. And then all of the boga now becomes offered to the mountain, and then all of a sudden Krishna manifests himself in a beautiful way, and he becomes the mountain itself and starts eating all of the preparations. And they're bringing more. Krishna's in the form of Govardhan taking it, and pretty soon all of the boga was now consumed, and there was no more. But Govardhan wasn't satisfied. He said, what did he say? Aniyor, 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 give me more. But there's no more. And everyone's wondering, what are we going to do? Govardhan wants more, but we don't have more. And then there was one sadhu. He was there. He said, give him a tulsi leaf. So someone came and placed a tulsi leaf on the tongue of Govardhan. There's that village there, it's called Aniyor, tongue of Govardhan. And as soon as he received the tulsi leaf, Govardhan was satisfied, and everyone else was happy. Now this is one of the main messages from this particular pastime. And when we prepare bhoga for the Lord and we offer it to the Lord, there should always be tulsi there. When Krishna sees tulsi, he becomes attracted to accept that prasadam. And so now is a nice festival and everyone's enjoying Sarkimangan, singing, dancing, glorifying Krishna. The cows are there. But then there's one person who's not so happy. His name is Indra. And he's thinking, what happened to my worship? Every year, now I can see that this talkative little boy, he doesn't recognize who he is, has interfered with my yajna. And now these cowherd men, they're listening to this talkative boy, and now we're no worship. This is intolerable. So one of the reasons why Krishna also interfered with the yajna for Indra, because he could understand that this demigod is proud. And therefore he wanted to destroy that pride. It says that pride blocks one's relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In this material world, there's so many opportunities and so many aspects on how one can become proud. That story is also there in Damodar Leela with the Manigriva and Nalukuvara. They also became proud and Narada smashed their pride. But in this particular pastime, Krishna wanted to humble Indra. And he knew Indra was going to respond because of his pride. I just want to mention one thing which I think is interesting, because there are different ways that pride can manifest. Pride of being born in a auspicious family, a wealthy family, a pious family, a family that has name. One can be proud of one's physical beauty. One can be proud of having wealth. One can be proud of having knowledge. One can be proud of having position. So many ways. And pride is so subtle, it's even hard to detect. In fact, no one can see their own pride, usually. Others can see it, but one cannot see it. But Krishna sees it, and he usually does something to help the devotee come back to their senses. Because ultimately, everything comes by the grace of the Lord, and one should be proud simply to have the opportunity to be connected with the Lord and to serve the Lord. But anything else is considered ahankara, or false pride, based on the bodily concept of life. So Indra is really angry. And he's going to do something. And so now he's thinking. And you might think, wow, what did he do? He caused the Shamantaka cloud, the most devastating, powerful cloud, the cloud that comes at the end of the millennium, when it's time for the devastation, when there's continual rain for thousands of years and the entire universe is engulfed in water. Powerful clouds that are unlimited. Shamantaka comes along with powerful winds. And Indra, in a very direct and angry way, says, go to Vrindavan and pour your rains there. Teach those Brijabasis a lesson. And so they're a little bit reluctant at first, but Indra is very determined, so they follow Indra and they go. And then, as it's described, it starts to rain. And it really starts to rain. It says that this rain that was coming down was like arrows, so sharp, and the torrents were like columns, pillars of water coming down with such force, and everything was cold. It was ice. And pretty soon the ground was no longer being seen, and the residents of Vrindavan were starting to become concerned, so they start going for a higher and higher land, but the water was rising. And then finally they realized, we are in trouble. They were freezing. The cows were also crying. And then they spoke this verse, Krishna, Krishna, O most fortunate one, please deliver the cows from the wrath of Indra. O Lord, you are so affectionate to your devotees. Please save us also. So now Krishna sees what's going on, and he's a distance away from Govardhan at the time. So he doesn't want to get wet. So he manifests Anantashesh as an umbrella. And he goes right directly to Govardhan Hill, and with the pinky, smallest finger, the finger that has the least amount of strength within the hand, he picks up this huge mountain easily and holds it over his head and gives a signal to all of the residents, please take shelter here. And pretty soon everyone comes, the cows come, the cowherd boys come, the elderly gopis come, everyone is coming under the hill. And now it's really, really raining. But in order to protect the devotees, and Krishna also says, don't worry, Govardhan will give you complete protection, please come. And then the rain starts to go onto the ground, but then Krishna manifests his Sudarshan chakra and starts drying up all the rain. And he's holding the hill. He's got a big smile on his face. All the residents are absorbed and looking at Krishna, the cowherd men, the cowherd boys. Krishna also performed this particular pastime to give darshan to the younger gopis, the ones that actually were so young that they hadn't actually got the chance to see Krishna. So they were also there, and then for 7 days, of course we understand that was the duration, everyone, including these younger gopis who had so much affection for Krishna, but they had only heard about Krishna. They had never seen him actually because of they were so small at the time. And it says that they were loving Krishna before seeing Krishna. This is called Purva Ras. Purva Ras is actually the manifestation of our mood of devotion, loving Krishna before seeing Krishna. But how is that possible? Because we all have been with Krishna in the spiritual world, but because that is so far distant from our ability to recall, it appears that we were never with Krishna. We cannot recollect that existence that we had in the spiritual world. So, but the mood of bhakti and the glorification of Krishna awakens one's love of Krishna in the mood of separation from Krishna. And that's loving Krishna before seeing Krishna. So Indra, and he's really encouraging the clouds to keep pouring rain, but Govardhan's being hit with these sharp, really continuous pillars of water. But because it was being touched by the lotus-like finger of Krishna, he wasn't feeling any pain at all. In fact, he was blissful. Just because of being touched by Krishna, there was no discomfort for Govardhan. Although the rains were pouring, there was lightning bolts, thunderbolts, there was winds, huge gale winds, but nothing could move Govardhan, and nothing could disturb the residents of Vrindavan. And for 7 continuous days, Krishna gave his darshan like that. Finally, and there's many wonderful pastimes been there. Krishna, Prabhupada said, he's a lusty boy. He likes girls. And Prabhupada said, where do you get that tendency? From Krishna. The attraction between female and male, which is not something that has to be awakened or what we say, discussed, or in other words, it's natural. It's natural because it comes from Krishna. Now, Krishna is naturally attracted, but he's attracted out of bhakti, not out of material desire. So now Krishna is holding it up, and he starts looking at one of the gopis, one of the breasts of one of the gopis, and then all of a sudden, as he's looking, his fingers start shaking a little bit, and it looks like the hill's starting to move. Balaram's watching, and he's laughing. And Krishna sees Balaram noticing him, and he becomes a little embarrassed. And then he starts to, get back to his business of holding a Govardhan hill like that. So the cowherd men, when they saw the hill shaking, they all start putting their sticks underneath the hill like they're going to help Krishna hold up the hill. But Krishna foiled that by his own mystic power. And so there were many wonderful pastimes. Mother Yasoda was coming, and she was feeding Krishna, and Krishna was eating. And the gopis were there taking darshan, and the cowherd boys were there. Everyone was so happy seeing Krishna. There was kirtan going on. It was like nothing else was happening. Although, from the outside, torrential rains and powerful winds, something that no one could possibly even tolerate, what to speak of surviving. And then after 7 days, Indra realized, I'm in trouble. This person who foiled my yagya, I think he's the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And then as soon as he thought like that, it awakened in his heart. He understood, yes, this is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And so he desisted. The winds slowed down, stopped, and the rain started to stop. And Krishna, seeing that, he gradually encouraged everyone to return. And Krishna put the hill down. The cowherd men were going to think they were going to help Krishna lower the hill. But Krishna did one thing just to show that they have no say in what he's doing. He took a little bit of his power away from holding the hill, and then the cowherd men with their sticks were starting to sink down just a little, just to let them know my power is everything. And so he put the hill down. And now Indra's in trouble. Oh, is he in trouble? He realizes he's in trouble. He doesn't know what to do. He's besides himself in anguish. He's thinking, now I've offended it. I mean, what did he try to do? He didn't just try to give some disturbance. He tried to kill the residents of Vrindavan. By giving these rains, he had no remorse about anything. He just wanted to get revenge. And sometimes it's referred in statements that he was acting like a demon, although he's not. He's not a demon at all, but he was acting in that way. And now he's in trouble, so he's thinking what to do. So he goes to Lord Brahma. Brahma says, you're in trouble. Brahman doesn't give him and he's soulless right away. So then, but then Brahma says, actually, Krishna is very affectionate to Sarabi, to the cows. So take your Sarabi cow and go and offer to worship Krishna and bathe Krishna with the milk of Sarabi. And so he has some recourse. And that place is there. It's called Govinda Kunj. I'm sure many of you know of it. And that's where Krishna accepted the Abhishek of Sarabi. He couldn't refuse the love of his dear cows. But Krishna was still a little bit disturbed with Indra. In fact, he was quite disturbed. In one narration by Shiva Ram Maharaj in one of his books, he describes that Indra tried to approach Krishna directly and starts to apologize for what he had done. But Krishna was not even listening. Krishna was walking, he was walking next to him trying to speak to Krishna, and Krishna's not listening. Because Krishna felt, he tried to kill the residents of Vrindavan and my cows. Krishna was quite disturbed by Indra's activity. But Krishna could understand that Indra was apologizing not because he was sorry for what he did, but because he was afraid of the reactions he was going to get. Sometimes when we do something that is wrong, we always think, oh, what will happen to me? That's the more like the self-interested mood. But actually, real repentance is to really feel sorry for the inconvenience that was caused to others. That's real repentance. And Krishna was waiting for Indra to actually come to his senses. And finally, of course, he did. Like that. Now, this is a beautiful, beautiful pastime. It's a very joyful pastime. Prabhupada said we should cook mounds and mounds of prasadam and distribute prasadam everywhere to anyone. Everyone should come and get as much prasadam as they can possibly eat. So it's a very joyful festival. And I'll just read some of the reasons why Krishna performed this Leela. When Krishna does something, he has many accomplishments that he is trying to achieve. One, he wanted to smash the pride of Indra, understanding how arrogant this demigod was, being very powerful and having complete control of the heavens. Two, he wanted to establish worship of himself, and this is really the essence of this pastime, that in our life there will be storms. And this is the way it is, just living in the material world. There's always storms. We call them difficulties, obstacles, sometimes catastrophes, major reverses in our life. But where do we go? Sometimes we go to whatever intelligence we have to try to fix it. And that's practical, makes sense, but actually it's not the actual reason. The real reason is to take shelter of Krishna in each and every situation. And that's a constant consciousness of a devotee, that they depend on the Lord, they depend on the Lord's mercy. For everything in life, and they're happy, knowing that Krishna is always there. Now, Krishna wanted to establish complete, exclusive worship of himself, and he performed this particular pastime. At this time, we celebrate. Just before that, of course, many of you are aware that there are so many pujas and homas and rituals that are being offered to Ganesh, to Durga, to various deities for auspiciousness, for some material gain, for material protection. And right after that, after all of these pastimes, all of these rituals, Krishna lifts Govardhan Hill to say, forget about all this. Just worship me. Everything you're looking for is perfectly fine with devotion to me. So he wanted to establish that and destroy this idea of worshipping devas for material gain. Because as Krishna explains in the Bhagavad Gita, that whatever the demigods give is actually coming from me. Mayava hitan hitan. That the demigods are not independent. And whatever the demigods do give is temporary, and it's also material. And those who worship the demigods, ultimately, he says, hita gyan, their intelligence is somewhat disturbed, or they have crippled intelligence actually. In the Srimad Bhagavatam it mentions that in the second canto, in the beginning of the second chapter in the second canto, it describes how if one wants a benediction, a material benediction, one worships a particular demigod. Just like Prabhupada was talking about that, he was saying that if one wants a very nice wife, they should worship Uma, the wife of Lord Shiva, very qualified wife. If one wants powerful sex, then one should worship Indra. One wants wealth, one should worship the Vasus. This is in the Bhagavatam. There's many verses, but then again, Akama sarva kama uva moksha kama udaradi tivrena bhakti yogena yajeta purusham param. Krishna, after saying all of these things, it says actually those are actually should, whether you have as full of material desires, if you're satisfied in devotional life, or if you are simply satisfied in yourself as self-realized, it doesn't matter. Simply worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead. All your desires will be completely fulfilled, and you'll attain perfection in life. So after acknowledging, or at least giving some concession about demigod worship, because people want to hear that. They want some kind of material gain. And they know that if you engage in devotional service, Krishna might take everything away. People are afraid. Oh, Krishna, that's very difficult. He might take everything away. But he gives you himself. And therefore, when you have Krishna, you have everything. And so Krishna wanted to make that point, and that's one of the reasons. Another reason was to protect the inhabitants of Vrindavan. Another one was to satisfy the younger gopis by giving his darshan for 7 full days, and to show the benefits of prasadam and the distribution of prasadam. Prabhupada would always say, in each and one of our temples worldwide, we should distribute prasadam within the radius of 10 miles. He's also on record of saying 50 miles. So prasadam distribution is so auspicious, and it attracts people to devotional service. To establish the worship of Govardhan, which we are doing today, because Govardhan is Krishna manifest himself in this most beautiful and merciful incarnation as a hill. And the importance of offering tulsi leaves on one's offerings to the deity. And another reason is to show the super excellent devotion of the Brijabasis, that they only know Krishna. Krishna, Krishna, Mahabhaga. Only Krishna. Okay, so it's a little bit about this pastime. There are many, many details, but so chant, dance, and take prasadam, and chant Giriraj Maharaj ki, Govardhan Varya ki, Haridas Varya ki, Giriraj Maharaj ki. Gaur Premanande. Thank you. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai Jai Prabhupada. Jai Jai Prabhupada, 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 Jai Jai Prabhupada. Jaya Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram. Jaya Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram. Jai Gaurani Sai, Gaurani Sai, Gaurani Sai, Jaya Gaurani Sai. Jai Gaurani Sai, Gaurani Sai, Gaurani Sai, Jaya Gaurani Sai. Lavina Vishaka, Jaya Radhesha, Lavina Vishaka, Jaya Radhesha. Jaya Radha, Shama Sundara, Shama Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. ISKCON founder Acharya, His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada Ki. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahans Purivad Vitarjan. Astotana Satta Shri Shriman, His Divine Grace Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Maharaj Ki. Anantamani Vaishnavrinda Ki. Ramacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki. Rup Sanatan Bhaktivinoda Siddhi Gopal Das Raghunath Sadgoswami Ki. Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Ki. Shri Sri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shyama Kunda Radha Giri Govardhan Ke. Vrindavan Dham Ke. Shri Vrindavan Dham Ke. Navadvip Mayapur Dham Ke. Jagannath Puri Dham Ke. Gangamai Ke. Jamunamai Ke. Tulsi Devi Ke. Bhakti Devi Ke. Samaveda Bhaktivinoda Ke. Shri Shri Giri Govardhan Ke. Govardhan Dari Ke. Haridas Varya Ke. Shri Govardhan Puja Mahamahotsava Ke. Thai Gaur Premanande. Glory to Shri Guru and Shri God. Shri Shri Radha Shyam Sundar Ki. Krishna Balaram Ki. Varnatana Ki.
हरे कृष्णा सभी भक्तों के लिए गोकुल शहर में प्रसाद है एंड प्रसाद और शिला प्रभुपाद डिसाइपल्स एंड सन्यासी इन द सेम हॉल बिहाइंड दिस ग्रीन मैट सो काइंडली बाकी सब भक्तों और डिवोटीज में